Russia has been waging war on Ukraine since late February 2022. Millions have fled the country, while others stayed to fight. The EU, US and allied countries responded with sanctions and support for Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy on Sunday denounced Russian terrorists for launching drone attacks on his country barely an hour into the new year. In a video message, Zelenskyy said 45 Iranian-made explosive drones were shot down as the country welcomed 2023 and thanked the Ukrainian Air Force and Air Defense Ground Forces for their efforts. Air raid sirens sounded in the capital, Kiev, and other cities shortly after midnight on New Year's Day, followed by a barrage of missiles. 4 people were killed and dozens more were injured, officials said. Ukraine's largest university reported significant damage to its buildings, along with 2 schools. Ukrainian officials alleged Moscow was deliberately targeting civilians along with critical infrastructure to destroy morale during the long winter months. Russia said it was targeting Ukraine's drone production facilities. Zelenskyy, meanwhile, praised his citizens' sense of unity, of authenticity, of life itself. The Russian military is palpably afraid, Zelenskyy said. And they are right to be afraid because they will lose. The president said Russia will not take away a single year from Ukraine. They will not take away our independence. We will. Russia launches new drone attack in Kiev region, southern Ukraine. The Kiev region was under threat of drone attacks late on Sunday, its governor said, as air raid sirens sounded across the capital and eastern Ukraine. Air raid alert has been announced in the region, Alexei Kuleba, the governor, said on the Telegram messaging app. There is a threat of a Shahd, Iranian-made drones, attack, he added. Earlier Sunday, the Russian military launched a new aerial attack on targets near Mykolaiv in southern Ukraine, using so-called kamikaze drones, state news agency Ukrinform reported. The agency said 2 groups of Iranian-made Shahed drones were spotted. Air alert, 2 groups of mopeds, Regional Military Administration Chief Vitaly Kim wrote in a public message on Telegram. Ukraine says it has inflicted heavy losses on Russians in Bakhmut. The Ukrainian military claims to have inflicted heavy losses on Russian troops in Bakhmut, the small city in eastern Ukraine that has been the scene of fierce battles for months. Around 170 Russian soldiers were killed in fighting for control of the bombed-out city on Saturday, the spokesman of the Eastern Group of the Armed Forces, Serhiy Cherevety, said on Sunday evening. Cherevety described it as an assembly line of death for the Russian occupiers and said at least 200 more Russians were wounded. Moscow has not commented, and battlefield accounts in the 10-month-old war are often impossible to immediately confirm.
Ukrainian forces apparently dealt a heavy blow to Wagner with the HIMARS attack on Pervomaisk city, 15 miles east of Bakhmut. On PMC Wagner barracks ended with 70 dead mercenaries. The Russians used an old hospital as a base in Luhansk Oblast. The head of Wagner, Prigozhin, visited basements full of dead mercenaries. Contract is finished. So long, guys, Happy New Year. That's how Prigozhin sends off his Wagner members back home in black bags. They are just thrown on top of each other in black bags, like garbage.
Контракт закончен. Поедут домой. Надо готовиться к отправке. Это домой. В Новый год все работают.
Евгений Викторович, а кто здесь лежит?
Здесь бойцы ЧВК Вагнера, которые погибли на фронте, которых с уважением сейчас отвезут, положат в цинки и повезут домой. Которые погибли героически. Переказывали, да? Да, справа только. Это, ну, это не первая машина, да? В постоянном режиме вот такой встречается. Ну что, парни, счастливо, с Новым годом, да? Как есть.
Prigozhin earlier today also visited the wounded Wagner group of terrorists in the Luhansk hospital.
Журналисты приехали, чтобы послушать, что вы народу передадите.
Есть что сказать? Да, всем мужикам передаем с Новым годом, пожалуйста, конечно. Счастья Новому году, богатырского здоровья и новых свершений.
And the cleaning of the outskirts of Bakhmut by the armed forces of Ukraine, which were previously entered by the fighters of the so-called PMC's Wagner.
Я власне